So many of you guys have asked, yo Skills, what is your favorite legendary build to run solo? And this is going to be that build. I'll tell you why it's one of my favorite, because it runs one of my favorite gear sets in the Division 2. It not only gives me the damage needed to shred through legendary enemies, but it also gives me the survivability on the way I have this build set up. So we'll be getting to everything you need to know on this, but I did want to make a quick announcement. They did announce today that we will be having Twitch drops from May 27th to June 10th. And there are a total of 8 different rewards you guys can get. You have to watch up to 6 hours to get the final reward, but these are actually looking pretty nice. I do want to make one side note. Hopefully they can fix the issues they had with the last Twitch drops with a lot of users not getting their drops. But that's enough talking. Let's get into the build. So the gear set I am running that allows me to put out this type of damage is going to be the Striker gear set. As many of you know, the 2-piece gives you 15% weapon handling. The 3-piece is going to give you 15% rate of fire, and the 4-piece Striker's Gamble weapon hits increase total weapon damage by 0.65%, stacking up 100 times, essentially giving you 65% extra total weapon damage. Now, 1 stack is lost per second, 0 to 50, and 2 stacks is lost per second, 50 to 100. And the great thing about when you play legendary missions is that enemies tend to be a lot more tankier, allowing you to build your stacks more frequently. And in return, you're able to maintain them longer, putting out max DPS that you can on your build. As you noticed in the gameplay, I do have max stacks of Strikers, and we hardly ever lose the stack once we have full stacks. Now, a weapon I love running with this is the St. Elmo's, not because it's the hardest hitting assault rifle in the game, but because it has a huge magazine size, and it has a unique talent that adds shock bullets to your weapon. So we do have assault rifle, health damage, and damage to targets out of cover for the attribute. And then the talent itself, what it does is shooting an enemy with this weapon will give you 1 stack. But once you hit 100 stacks, the next magazine will be 100% filled with shock ammo. And if you guys know, we have 70 rounds in the magazine. So that's 70 rounds of shock ammo. That's why a lot of players like using this weapon, because those 70 rounds can get you out of situations that you might have not been able to get out before, because being able to shock the enemy is going to pause them from shooting you. And if you can shock multiple enemies, well, then you can turn to the enemies, maybe get into cover, pop a med kit if you need be, and then refocus those enemies. And even though we're not using the hardest hitting assault rifle exotic in the game, it still has enough damage to shred through these legendary enemies, as you guys are seeing here. So the damage is not an issue. Having that little bit of survivability with the shock ammo could be the difference between you staying alive and dying. For the secondary, it's really up to you. I really like the Mop Shotgun. It's the only shotgun that allows you to have 10% armor on kill as an attribute. And then I also like putting Preservation on here, because that also is going to give me 10% armor for killing an enemy over 5 seconds. If I get a headshot, I get another 10%. So technically on this, I can have a total of 30% armor on kill just from the weapon itself. So for the mask, we are running the Striker Battle Gear mask, and this is going to have armor, critical hit damage, and then critical hit damage mod. For our chest piece, we're going with a Cheska chest piece. You can actually go with a Grupo if you want. That gives us 8% critical hit chance with the Cheska. We have weapon damage, crit chance, and a crit damage mod. And then I am running a talent called Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds. Now, this does stack up to 20 times, so that is 20% extra total weapon damage you can have on this build. And since we do have a high crit build, we will be able to keep Obliterate up 99% of the time as soon as we get into battle. As you guys seen here, our stacks are already at max stack for Obliterate, and then we're almost at max stack for Striker. And once we're at max stack for Obliterate, and once we're at max stack for Striker, that's where we're going to be at max DPS for our build. Since we don't have a damage talent on our St. Elmo's, it's more for that survivability of the shock bullets. Our max damage cap is going to reach max once we have those 2 stacks fully maxed out. And as you guys seen here, we are literally just shredding through these enemies. And look at the shock. It keeps shocking them. It drops them. They can't shoot us. And then we're able just to focus them and then take out the enemies one by one. And if you noticed, Obliterate never went down. Fully maxed this whole engagement right here. And that's what I'm talking about. It's such a good talent to use. And remember, if you guys want to use a Grupo chest, or if you guys even want to use the Zoo chest, which gives you a bigger magazine capacity, you guys can do that too. The damage is already going to be here on the build. For our second piece of Strikers, we have the holster, and we have weapon damage, critical hit damage. For our third piece of Striker, we have the knee pads, weapon damage, critical hit damage. For our gloves, we have our fourth and final piece of strikers with weapon damage, critical hit chance. But now, if you've been following my channels for a while now, you guys know Memento is probably one of my favorite pieces to run. Not because it gives you a red core, blue core, and yellow core. It's because of a talent called Kill Confirmed. Enemies you kill drop a trophy on death. Collecting trophies provides both a short-term and long-term buff. And this all scales to depending on how many red cores, blue cores, and yellow cores you have on this build. On this build particular, we have 5 red cores. So every time we pick up one of those trophies you guys see, we're getting 25% extra weapon damage. Every time we pick up a blue core, we have 2 blues, so we're getting 20% bonus armor. And then we only have 1 yellow core on here, so that's 5% skill efficiency. Now, the long-term buff is the one that really makes this build give you the survivability you really need. So for every trophy collected, you gain 1% weapon damage, 1% skill efficiency, and 0.1% armor regen for 300 seconds. Now, if you notice, you don't have to pick this up right away. As soon as you pick up a trophy and you're at max stack, it will refresh the stack. So you can technically be at 30% weapon damage, which I'm at right now, 3% armor regen, and 30% skill efficiency, which is amazing, not only for your decoy, which you're running, and your shield. The survivability this build has is probably one of my favorite to use. And I run a version of this same build almost on all difficulties. I run this build in Countdown. I run this build when I'm solo heroic in the world, open world. And yes, you can run this, as you guys are seeing, with legendary difficulty, and the enemies will go down just as fast. If we take a look at the stats, we have 51% crit chance, 131% crit damage, 75% headshot damage, 21% health damage, and then 10% damage to targets out of cover. If you go over to our stats, we're sitting at 1.1 million armor. We have 112,000 armor on kill. And then remember, we will have 3% armor regen once we do have all the trophies collected. For the modifiers, I went with Overdrive, probably one of my favorite ones to run. Since I'm running a shield, Fortified Shield works good. It's going to increase our skill shield's health by 100%. Reactive Reinforcement is going to heal 5% of our maximum armor when your shield takes damage. And then we have Critical Momentum. Critical hits have a 40% chance to grant 1% momentum. And you guys saw the skills I'm running. I am running the Crusader Shield, which allows you to run an assault rifle or any weapon with it. And then also we are running the decoy, which I think is actually really good, especially it will distract enemies and have them focusing that decoy from time to time, allowing you to sneak up, get away, maybe pop a med kit. But overall, this is probably my favorite build to run in the game, period. But again, this actually works really good on Legendary. And I think because of the Memento being such a strong piece in this game, great for solo players, it has become a staple for solo builds. And as you guys know, I play a lot of solo content and I love running the Memento backpack. It's such a versatile piece that can go with almost any build as a solo player. And you technically could run this in duels, trios, or quads, as long as you guys are getting those trophies. But with the amount of damage we have, you will be getting kills, so you will be able to get trophies. So building stacks has never been a real issue for me, as long as you have enough damage on the build. And while this is the build, as you guys saw, works pretty flawlessly. If you guys want to take a screenshot of this, you guys can. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. This is still probably one of my favorite solo legendary builds to run in Year 6, Season 3, Burden of Truth. So we're going to wrap this one up, guys. Hey, don't forget, Twitch drops will be live on May 27th for the release of Battle for Brooklyn. If you guys haven't checked out my second channel, NothingButSkillz 2.0, been putting out a lot of really good tips for you new returning players. So highly recommend, if you're new returning, hey, stop over there, drop a follow, subscribe. Hey, I'll see you guys in the next one. NothingButSkillz is out.